Dear students, before take up one more question, so let us understand the inheritance of the blood groups, particularly with respect to AB blood group. See, for example, so this is the gene which code for the antigen present on the RBC that decides the type of blood group. For example, if I write IA, this is the gene which code for antigen A. When I write IB, this is the gene code for antigen B. If for example, the mother is heterozygous A, she may be like this, and the father is heterozygous B blood group, this is the genotype. So, the offspring may have one allele from one of the parents and other allele from another parent, so that the offspring will have IA, IB, this is a genotype for AB blood group. So, the offspring will resemble both the parents, that is mother is A blood group, father is B blood group, and hence the child resemble both the parents. So, based on this, let us see one question. Codominance differs from incomplete dominance as in codominance. Option A, the hybrid is intermediate, and B, both the genes are expressed equally. Option C, dominant gene is expressed in F1 generation. Option D, genotypic ratio is 1:1. So, in the previous question you have understood, if it is in a heterozygous condition like this in incomplete dominance and both the alleles express partially or else, so one of them incompletely dominant over the other, so the plant will have intermediate character that they produce the pink color flowers. But in this case, both the genes, both the alleles will express and the individual have the character which is present in both the parents, that is the offspring resemble both the parents. So, in this particular case, the correct option is the option B, both the genes are expressed equally. Dear students, allele, the definition you already know, it is a slightly different form of the same gene and two alternate forms only present according to Mendelian principles of inheritance. So, as you already know that, for example, the height in the plants, so maybe it is tall or a dwarf, and only two alternate forms of the gene are present, that is capital T and the small t. In some cases, a single gene for a character occur in more than two alternate forms. The best example for multiple allelism such like that is the human blood groups ABO. So, the human blood groups are controlled by three genes, that is IA, IB, IO or small I. So, here the IA control the blood group A because it codes for antigen A, IB control blood group B because it codes for the antigen B, and IO or a small I do not code for any antigen. So, in this particular question, for example, so there are three types of alleles and same gene occur in three different forms of alleles, and hence the question is the ABA blood grouping is based on option A codominance, option B incomplete dominance, option C epistasis, and the option D multiple allelism. As I already told you, multiple allelism is a single gene for a character occur in more than two alternate forms, and hence in ABO blood group a single gene, that is capital I, occur in more than two alternate forms, and hence the correct option in this question is option D, multiple allelism. dear students, as you already studied, the blood groups in humans is controlled by 3 alleles. So, a single gene for a character occur in more than 1 or 2 alternate forms. So, for example, so the human blood groups are controlled by 3 alleles IA, IB, IO. So, in this case IA is dominant over IO, IB is dominant over IO, but IA neither dominant over IB nor IB is dominant over IA, and this is called as a codominance. Now, based on this, let us see one question. Blood grouping in humans is controlled by option A, 4 alleles in which A is dominant. The statement A is wrong because there are only 3 alleles wherein A is dominant over IO, not over IB. Option B, 3 alleles in which AB is codominant. This is the correct statement because the blood groups is controlled by 3 alleles, and here IA, IB is a codominance which control AB blood group. And option C, 3 alleles in which none is dominant, and option D is 3 alleles in which A is dominant. So, when you look at the question, the correct option is B, that is the human blood groups is controlled by 3 alleles and IA, IB is a codominance which code for a blood group AB. Dear students, we consider one more deviation from Mendelian law, what Mendel did not observe in experiments observed by other scientists in a post-Mendelian period. So, one such deviation from Mendelian law is pleiotropy. So, pleiotropy is a single gene for a character express multiple phenotypic expressions. So, the best example is the starch content in the pea seeds, phenylketonuria, sickle anemia, so on and so forth. So, based on this, let us see one question. In pleiotrophic inheritance, different traits are controlled by option A, many genes, option B, 1 or 2 genes, and option C, single gene, option D, mutation. As you already know, a single gene for a character have multiple phenotypic expressions, and hence the correct option in this particular question is option C, that is single gene.
ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ನೀವು ದೀವಿಗೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಹೇಳಿ, ಇದೇ ಥರ ನೂರಾರು ವೀಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ.